Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this 15-minute session with Google Digital Garage today, all about using social media stories to grow your online reach. My name's Kirsty. I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program, Google Digital Garage. I've been working in this industry now for around 7 years, and I absolutely love helping brands, helping small businesses, helping people like you connect with your customers online. But I'm not up here alone today. I do have the lovely Vina in the chat. So if you can go over and say hello, introduce yourself, let us know where you're signing in from this evening, and what's your business? What are you here to improve? What kind of business are you looking to create social media stories for? While you say hello, I do want to run through a little bit of housekeeping. So if at any point you have any trouble hearing, seeing the webinar, try refreshing your browser. That could help just fix any little bugs in the system for you. I will be pausing at the end to answer any questions, but feel free throughout the whole 15 minutes. If you've got any questions, pop them in the chat and Vina will be sharing answers and also a few useful links for you to put into use after the session. The other thing to mention as well is if you are a UK business or charity or individual sole trader and you're looking for some digital skills and digital training help on a one-to-one basis, we have a fantastic opportunity for you to book a one-to-one mentoring session with a Google trainer and mentor. That's going to allow you to talk about anything that we can't cover in this 15 minutes in a little bit more detail specific to your business. Now, I'm sure Vina can share that g.co/UK mentoring link, which will take you into our sign-up process for those one-to-ones. That's the housekeeping done. I can't see any comments coming through. I can see a couple of hellos there. And please do go into that chat, say hello, let us know where you are and what it is that you're here for today. I can see a couple of people haven't actually got a business yet, but I'm here to collect useful information. Yeah, a few people from all over. And I can see there from Italy, nice. Micro business of boat excursions. Who else have we got? Hey there, Marie. Hope you're well as well. So many hellos, and we're global this evening. So keep those hellos going. I'm sure that Vina would love to say hello in the chat there to you. So I'm going to separate this session into two clear areas because we haven't got long together. You know, we've got just over about 10 minutes now. So I want to break it up into two clear areas. First of all, right, stories on social media. How can they actually help our business? Why could they actually be useful to us as an organization with a presence on a social media platform that uses stories? And then I want to spend the second part of this session actually thinking about how we create a story that's engaging for our audience in a few simple steps. So starting with that part one there, understanding how stories can help our business, and also what are some of the benefits of including stories as part of our digital marketing strategy. What's a story? For those of you that are not using any social media channels that use these stories as a feature, social media stories can be found on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. Quite a few platforms are using stories. Even your WhatsApp has a stories feature. And in short, they are short form content, usually either an image that lasts for a short period of time, or a video, as you can see some of these examples here, that's very short, but gives a snapshot into the behind the scenes of your everyday life as that business, as that brand. Now, they appear in this full screen format, like what you can see. So these are a couple of examples of Instagram stories, what we can see here. And we can use them for all sorts of things. And as well as including images or videos, you can start to see that we can add writing, we can add information, we can add polls. So you can see on that ice cream one, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? Chocolate or vanilla, and we've got those arrows pointing to the different flavors there, so we can have our customers voting and really create that engagement. Or we can have things like the car mechanic example there, need help fixing your car? Ask me anything, where you can really open up that table to all of the customers that can reply directly on that story. And then you can use some of that generated questions from your audience to reply to some of them live on your stories and create that two-way conversation. We can also tag our location in some of these stories. So if we have a particular event running in a specific location, we can tag where we are so that people know exactly where we're based. So social media stories can be found across a number of different platforms. They're short form content and they usually expire after around 24 hours. Now you can share multiple stories in one go and people can move through them and kind of see your behind the scenes for a full day if they've not watched your short stories on that particular time. So now we know what they are. Why do we think they could be useful for businesses? Well, 500 million people use stories every day. Across Facebook, across Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp. 500 million people are using those stories across those 4 platforms under the Meta umbrella. 70% of Gen Z and 59% of millennials watch stories on Instagram. Regularly are watching and engaging with stories on platforms like Instagram. And as our attention spans decrease, stories have become a really popular way to deliver this short, snappy information to your customers and really engage with them. So when we're thinking about some of those benefits of using social media stories, there's loads of benefits for a business. For starters, the stories are fast-paced, they're cost-effective, they don't have to be super, super high-quality production because the aim of a story is that behind the scenes. It's about authenticity over the high-quality video that we might be using on something like our Instagram Reels or maybe on a different platform like YouTube. These points on the slide here are super important because stories are going to allow us to build a connection of trust, a familiarity. We're providing this window into the behind the scenes of our business, and customers can really start to connect with a more authentic side to our business. It encourages interaction with the number of built-in interactive options. We can gather feedback, do polls, take questions. We can put links over to our website or our shop. We can have swipe ups once we have enough followers to enact that as an action. It means that we can stay relevant. Stories are often created in real time or more so in real time. So we are as close to there and then with our customers as we possibly can be in comparison to other types of social content. We can be visible. It's going to encourage more visibility. Stories are not subject to the same type of algorithms as the posts on our feed. So if someone's following you, they're more likely to be able to directly see our stories regularly, which is a really interesting way to gain that visibility. And finally, because of the interactive elements and encouraging the engagement on these stories, we can potentially start to drive traffic to our website or our store. And lastly, having that link to people straight to your store, your blog, your website, that's going to encourage more bookings, more purchases. So we're going to be able to really push people through to that next step. To finish off this evening session, short and sweet, I told you it was going to be so, how do we create a story? Some best practice and some top tips on creating stories that are really going to engage with your audience and it's going to make them go, oh, Oh, I'd really like to do that. Now, as an example, we've got one of our case studies here, drums and flats. Now, first we can see that they've tagged partners in this particular story. So we can see the Smuggler's Cove, hashtag Wing Wednesday. So they've actually then used hashtags within that story to link into a particular day of the week. Fantastic. They've added music to this story, so we can start to see, oh great, they've added music. So it might be that they've used a trending song, it might be that they've used a song that really connects to the story that we can see. They're sharing a particular deal that they've got with an action, book now, that's flashing there on that GIF. Use the link in our bio, book your table for this Wednesday. So they're driving a call to action for any customers that see this story. 50% off wings on Wednesdays. Really, really great idea here when it comes to an example of how Drums and Flats have used story feature to engage with their audience. Another example, Soulcap. Another one of our case studies here. Now, Soulcap use stories regularly, and one thing that they use stories for really, really well is to actually share real experiences from their customers, which really helps to start to build trust with customers that are considering their product or services. So they're using customer reviews, customer testimonials, and actually an image there on the left-hand side from a user. They're using user-generated content in their stories to create quick and easy testimonial stories that showcase exactly what their products do. And the same on the right-hand side, they're also using stories to showcase individual products. So if we saw these two stories in succession, we can see, the first one, great, fantastic. We've got a testimonial that persuades us as potential customers to choose Soulcap. And then the next story, we might see a story with a full product link to go and see more on their shop. So not only can we understand that it's made from 100% premium silicone, our junior caps are completely skin safe and BPA free, they're strong, flexible and built to last. So we've already got a little bit more information that might be persuasive. We can then press that button at the bottom that says see more and head straight to Soulcap's website. Really great use of engaging with those potential customers. Tips for creating social media stories are 4 final best practices for you. Make sure you have a purpose, whether it's a sale, an event, or maybe it's entertainment. Make sure you're posting something that really does have a purpose to add towards building that trust or directing an action from your potential customers. Be engaging. Use interactive polls, tags, location pins, music, anything that's going to increase the reach and reach people that are interested in exactly what you're offering and in the location that you're potentially offering it if you have a physical bricks and mortar store. Third there, be authentic. Use real footage of your business, of what you do. You can occasionally use stock images, but make sure you're not misrepresenting what you sell, what your services are, and that you have the correct licensing permissions, if applicable, for sharing certain images. And finally, be consistent. I'm going to sneeze, sorry. Be consistent. Really important to stick to those brand guidelines when it comes to your visuals with the stories as much as you would with your physical products. It really, really is important because it's interesting to think about, okay, if we're gonna 1 minute have all of our feed color scheme or style of image and style of writing be, maybe I want orange, and then suddenly your stories are inconsistent and all over the place, and that's not going to showcase your brand in the same way. It's not going to allow you to really showcase that consistency of brand. So have a purpose, be engaging, be authentic, and be consistent. Now over to you in the chat. What I would like you to do while I have a look at a quick question that I can see has come through, is there something that you've been inspired by this session to have a think about sharing in your next business social media story? Let me know in the chat. And I can see that there is one question there from Nazar. Is there any limits of story numbers? Now I will say on Instagram, 100 clips, so 100 stories is the maximum number of Instagram stories that can be posted. Now, if you have more than 100, it's not that you can't post the 101 story, but it will remove the first one that you posted. So once you hit 100, as you keep posting, the first ones will be removed. And another question, when I should prefer stories than normal posts. Actually, I'm not so comfortable with them. That's interesting, Red Reef. I think depending on your audience is going to depend on whether they prefer stories to normal posts. And that's really up to you with your market research to understand how your customers are engaging with the platform that you've chosen to build a social media presence on. And I can see that one last question there, Mariam. I would say daily stories if doable. If not, then how many times a week can you consistently post stories every day, every week for your business would be my next question. So that brings us actually over time. So thank you for those few questions there. Really nice to get that engagement and know that there's people out there really kind of taking from this session. And I really hope this has helped give you a little bit of inspiration into what you can start doing with stories for your own business. Please write down in the chat. I will check the chat once we've finished today and have a look at what kind of stories are you going to post for your business soon. If you'd like to carry on learning, please do check out the Google Digital Garage website. I'm sure Vina can pop all of these links for you in the chat. I would absolutely love to see you in some more upcoming Google Digital Garage training sessions in the future. And finally, please do let us know on social media with hashtag Digital Garage what you've thought of today's session. We've got those one-to-ones as well. Vina will pop that link as a final thing. So any other questions, please do book a one-to-one, and I would love to see some of you in that one-to-one session. Other than that, good night, have a great weekend, and see you next time.